It's Devette Dukes, a realtor here in the metro Atlanta area. Just want to talk a little bit about myself and let you know who I am. I am born and raised in Cocoa, Florida. So that's originally where I'm from. So if you don't know where Cocoa is, it is 45 minutes outside of Orlando. Just think of I Dream of Jeannie, like Cocoa Beach. That's where I'm from. So born and raised there, and decided to make the big trek to Atlanta about 5 years ago. I just wanted a change in my environment and just to do something different. So me and my daughter, we decided to come and move here. So here we are. I thought that I would maintain my career in social services. That did not happen, and I'm so thankful for it. And at the urging of a family member, I took a real estate class. Took the class, passed it, and like they say, the rest is history. I'm definitely thankful for real estate because it definitely changed the trajectory of my career and my potential earnings. Being in social services, there was definitely a cap of where I could go and where my potential could be. But in real estate, it's definitely all on me, and I love that. I thought that I was a hard worker when I worked for someone else, but I realized that I wasn't really working hard enough, and real estate has definitely pushed me to my fullest potential. So I'm a mother, a caregiver, and a realtor. My daughter Kiara is 29 and 360 days as of today. She'll be turning 30. About 13 years ago, my daughter was in a near fatal car accident, and so that has left her wheelchair bound. Now, I know that that sounds like a sad situation, and it actually is, but she is so full of life. She is so determined to live her life abundantly, and I make sure that she does that. So, in being sad for her, please don't. Just continue to champion her on because she is absolutely amazing. Now, to shift gears into my real estate career, like I said, I have been doing this for 5 years. So I moved to Atlanta. Even though I had family here, I did not have a sphere of influence as far as friends. So my real estate career kind of took off differently. Literally, my first year in real estate, with the exception of 2 transactions, everyone was perfect strangers. So every person that I assisted was an absolute stranger that I met over the phone and was able to curate a relationship with them to assist them to purchase pretty much their first homes. And so with those relationships, I've been able to build a business that I'm very grateful and thankful that they chose me to do this. So fast forward 5 years, I'm now with Village Premier Collection, an amazing company. I'm also the program director of Women's Council of Realtors Metro South, where we just empower not only women but individuals in our particular area to network with other real estate professionals. We empower, we educate, and we network, and we have a good time doing it. My journey into real estate, like I said, my background was social services. I had done that for 15 years, and not that I was unfulfilled in it, but I knew that I needed to be in Atlanta. So as I mentioned before, my daughter is handicapped. And so in Florida, the services were no longer available. And in my research, I found that Georgia offered the services that I needed to have. So that is what made me move to the Atlanta area. So in coming here, I really thought, I've done this for 15 years. I'm degreed, I'm seasoned. Surely I'll find a job. Well, it's not like it is now. And so I did not. And I had been encouraged by a family member to get my real estate license. But in my head, I really thought I would be doing social services. I'd do me a couple of real estate transactions on the side, and that's how my life would be. So when that didn't happen, I just went ahead and did the real estate. So I jumped in quickly. It was the summer of 2017. Yep, 2017. And I took a class. It wasn't even online because pandemic, of course, hadn't hit. And I took the class at a local office, and just really, I knew, if I'm honest, I knew that this was like I had one shot because I had kind of put all my eggs in one basket, if you will. And I took that class, and a lot of people don't pass the test on the first time, but I did. And it's not because I'm a brainiac and I'm so smart, but my faith was like at an all-time high that I had to do this because my family was riding on it. So that's where I was. So I'm often asked, like, if I had it to do again, would I do it that same way? And if I'm honest, I really would, because I felt like because my back was against the wall, I had limited savings at that time, that it made me be super hungry and go really, really hard. Now, what I do tell some people, if I'm completely transparent, is to have some savings in reserves, because it can be 30 days, 60 days before your first transaction, becomes a commission check. So, but for me, I didn't really have that. And so that really made me, go all in. Like everything that I was told to do, making the calls, being in the office, being aggressive with negotiating, I did everything that I was told to do because, like I said, my family was riding on this. So my first year in real estate, I did 14 transactions. And out of those 14 transactions, 12 of them were perfect strangers. And a lot of people have a lot to say about online leads or Zillow or whatever. That's not my testimony and that's not my story. And all of those things were amazing for me. And so what I will definitely say is do what works for you. And sometimes that means you got to pick up everything and figure it out and then determine what works for you. So fast forward here 5 years later, I would say that my niche market is relocation. I've probably moved in my 5 years of being in real estate, I've probably moved about 15 to 20 people from New York, California, Philadelphia, Chicago. They have moved to the Atlanta area. And some of them have done it with property sight unseen. So I'm very big on making sure that my clients understand the process, that I do a thorough job in doing what we call virtual tours. So it's been one of my things that I feel like I'm very good at. If you look at my overall sales, I would say 80% of my clients have been buyers. And what I'm able to do, I get my clients two ways. So some of them are, I just meet, just networking, or they may be referrals. But the majority of my clients have come from online leads, where I have been able to develop a quick rapport with these clients to be able to assist them in purchasing homes. So a buyer's agent is one that figures out the need of the client. So whatever it is that they need, whether they need a large home because this is their first time purchasing a home, or if they're downsizing, if they're relocating. So you develop and understand what the client needs, develop a plan of action for what they need. You have what's called a buyer's consultation, and in that consultation, that's where we're kind of fact gathering those things so that you can deliver and maximize your time with them. So I don't want to show a client that says a deal breaker for them is having a garage. Like showing them a property that doesn't have a garage would be not maximizing the time, unless I feel like, hey, it has everything that they need with the exception of the garage, and I feel like this may be something that they need. Case in point, I had a client that moved from California, and what she told me was, I want a place to entertain outside. I want an in-law suite for when family comes to visit, and I just want an open concept. I said, okay. So we had gone and we looked at about 5 or 6 homes. We had put in offers, didn't get them. This property came on the market, and in looking at it, it did not look like anything that she would want, but I could see the potential in the space. And I knew based on her personality that it didn't matter if I put her in a new construction home or I put her in an old Victorian home, she was going to renovate it anyway. So what I told her is, I'm not going to show you any pictures. I just want you to read the description of the home. So she read it, and it said in-law suite. She was like, check. It had a basement, not something that she had necessarily asked for, but she was definitely interested in. Check. Had an open concept. Check. Large yard. Check. It had 2 decks on the property. Check, check. So then she looked at the pictures and she was like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, hey, let's keep an open mind. So we go and we take a look at the property, and she was like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, there were some things that she had to do, and so she's been in the property up to date about a year and a half, and she's totally renovated it. And even some of her friends, when she showed them the property, they were like, this is really not you. But now that she's renovated and made it her own amazing oasis, it's actually the very thing that she wanted. So I would say definitely understand what it is that your clients are wanting, because that's what makes you a strong buyer's agent. You have to definitely hear them, and sometimes you'll go off on a tangent, and sometimes you got to bring them back, but you definitely have to make sure that you hear and understand the needs that they have and the wants. We got to make sure that it has what they need, and then if we can get some of those bells and whistles, it definitely will create the want. Now, what I will say, the market has changed, and so because the market is where it is now, some of my buyers, we have to walk in having a vision, because a lot of people aren't doing things to homes that they used to do. I would even say 5 years ago, and I would say some more seasoned agents will probably even go back further than that. But you definitely have to have vision, because it doesn't matter. Like I said, even with a new construction home, there still may be things that you want to change. And so we have to have what we call the deal breakers in there, and you have to be able to have vision to make this home your own.